Bray Wyatt has been added to WWE Crown Jewel. Plus, Kevin Owens is off TV with his plans on hold. We'll talk about it. Plus, backstage details behind WWE and Pro Wrestling Noah's working relationship. It's all in the wrestling news right now. Do you love me?
Yes.
Are you playing those love games with me?
No.
Could you make an assessment?
Yes.
Would you like to drink Bailey's out of a shoe?
No.
I am, of course, quoting Uncle Howdy from The Wrestling, who Sam Driver very accurately pointed out does look like old Greg from the Mighty Boosh. And I'm sorry, I know the Bray Returns class, and this has been so much fun. But it's old Greg. It looks as if old Greg is going to make the trip to Saudi Arabia.
I've not thought about the Mighty Boosh for many years. Many years.
I'm glad it's back in your head.
I know.
I'm glad it's back in your head, boy. Looks as if he's heading over to Saudi Arabia, boy.
It does. Should we get this back on track? During last night's Raw, it was announced that Bray Wyatt will make an appearance at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia on Saturday. No details on what we'll be doing have been revealed. Could it be an in-ring promo cut off by Uncle Howdy?
Could be.
Uncle Greg. Who knows what might happen? I was very much intrigued by last Friday's on SmackDown. Yeah, people trying to work out who it actually is under the mask. I think it's actually Bray, just going off the voice.
See, do you reckon then that the earring and the little bit of lips, as we know, Bo Dallas has lips. Do we think that was a red herring?
Yeah, a little throw you off the scent sort of thing. I think it's do you think it's a split personality disorder?
I'm beginning to feel it's like a split personality. It's a bit like Psycho, where he's going to play him and his mother. I think it's just going to be back and forth between those two. Fascinated by it. I really am.
It is really good,
You know, he's playing himself and old Greg.
I can't wait for the moment where if Uncle Howdy does actually appear in front of a live crowd to see how that just looks. Because obviously it's all right to make it look all sort of spooky and whatnot with camera angles and video effects and whatnot and lighting. But once it's in the arena, I'm intrigued to see what that'll look like. Because there's the danger, and I'm not going to say it will look like this, but there's a danger it'll look like Oz and the Grand Wizard from back in the day. If you get a picture up there, you'll see what I mean. Just with the heads on the heads, if you know what I mean.
Welcome to Oz. One can salivate on that. I think it'll just look like old Greg. Or the hitch, yeah.
Look
at me live in the arena, boy. Not a peppermint nightmare.
We need to stop writing it off. It's good, honestly.
No, I love it. He does just look like blame Sam Driver. like Goldberg and Roman, blame Sam Driver. So what's happening then at Crown Jewel with
Wrestling.
Days to go?
Wrestling
is happening.
Yeah.
That is correctical.
Yes.
What kind of wrestling? What flavours?
Well, Carl Anderson will be there. Yeah. Saudi Arabia erupts. I can hear it in the distance. The OC will be taking on the Judgment Day in a 6-man tag team match. The undisputed tag team championships will be on the line, where the Usos take on those damn brawling brutes. But without Sheamus, it looks like on this match card here, who did, of course, get married over the weekend. Congratulations there.
Congratulations.
Do I dare every time. Lesnar will take on Bobby Lashley as big men slap their meat. A steel cage match. We'll see Daddy Drew McIntyre take on Karrion Kross. Will Scarlett do something spooky? Probably. She's an alien. I don't know what I was going to say there. But, she survived the car crash, no damage done. She emptied a can of pepper spray, no damage done, despite the fact other men were down on the floor. She's an alien. She's impervious to pain. Strowman will take on Omos in the most Crown Jewel match that's ever Crown Jeweled.
The giant that is Braun Strowman takes on the Colossus of Omos, making them both seem normal-sized.
Dave Mitchell. Last women's standing match for the Romans. It's last women's standing now, is it? For the Romans Championship between Bianca Belair and Bayley, who of course took each other out. Well, Bayley took out Bianca through a random set of tables next to the timekeeper's area on last night's Raw. Fantastic stuff. And then with the Uwu on the line, Reigns will take on Logan Paul with the very future of professional wrestling in his hands. Roman Reigns has. If he doesn't win, it's done. It's over. It's time to go home. No one will take the wrestling seriously anymore if Roman Reigns doesn't beat this social media juggernaut, Logan Paul.
WWE has to make a choice between a record-breaking title reign or an internet-breaking headline. I hope
it won't be a good look, though, will it, Tom?
Yeah, but David Arquette won the WCW title. It's all bets are
and
off.
Look what happened there.
Oh, yes, company was gone with it.
I know you're not going to say no if you're in David Arquette's shoes. We'd all do the same, but look what it did for the business. Killed it.
And as you and I know, it has not recovered in
No.
any way, shape, or form since then. Who knows? Maybe Uncle Howdy will kidnap Logan Paul. Get in the back of my car, boy. He's a bit hitcher. He's a bit old, Greg. Let's talk about Kev, baby. WrestleVote's chatting to Give Me Sport about the absence of Kevin Owens.
Yes, he was pegged. Sorry, there's more to the quote there. He was pegged to get involved with Sammy and the Bloodline. That's white hot right now. Those plans, from what I've been told, are definitely pushed back, but they're not off because the plan is for Kevin Owens to be with Sami Zayn. Oh. My heart flutters, but that might be the cholesterol. I don't know. Whatever they had planned for Kevin Owens is totally on pause because the stuff with Sammy doesn't come around often. This was supposed to be a little 3 or 4 week comedy deal. It's getting big.
I love the fact that they are letting the Sami Zayn thing breathe. And they're not just going, well, this was when we were going to get rid of it, so now we'll move on. No, let's just see. Let's take it to the full conclusion. I put out a video yesterday that garnered 2 very strong reactions. The video is, should Sami Zayn beat Roman Reigns?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he really should.
The reactions were either, don't be stupid, of course he should, and don't be stupid, of course he shouldn't. Like, nothing. But then one of the things that we speculate on in there are other ways around it, and I think definitely a potential idea is having Sami and Kev find each other again and have them beat the Usos.
When
at
to
WrestleMania.
become one, I need some love like I've never needed love before.
Gonna make love to you, baby.
Greg's back. But yeah, as we say, as you know, on the Cultaholic Wrestling podcast, where we do the weekend wrestling review, where we go through all of the big shows one by one and pick them apart and all that sort of stuff. And every single week, myself, Matthew, Greg, Jack the Jobber, you were on last week's episode. We're always in unison saying they're not missing a step with Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. Every single week, we're not finding anything that we would do better with what they're actually doing, and it's wonderful to see. They're doing it perfectly. The stuff on last week's SmackDown with Sammy just sort of like breaking, you know, just making. I think that was legit, wasn't it? The way that Jey Uso was just sort of like.
Oh, they were losing their minds.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. It was wonderful to see. There's no greater feeling in life than having a laugh that you have to stifle.
Yeah.
Like it is the most terrifying, the most wonderful feeling when you've been there, when you've had to be out and be somewhere serious and like you have to not laugh. But then the temptation to laugh is so strong. It's the most wonderful feeling in the world.
Just be more Usi.
Be more Usi, baby.
Yeah. But I hope the Sami Zayn thing continues for a long time because I was just saying that it would be wonderful if some way Sammy won the Rumble and then went on to challenge Reigns at WrestleMania. And if he was, the getting back to the heart and soul days of NXT, if he was the guy with the crowd behind him, which is happening organically, which again doesn't happen all too often. If he was the guy that beat him, I would be fully on board. But I don't think they would do it.
I don't think they would. Should we end on a bit of backstage chatter around WWE Noah?
Noah, we shouldn't.
That's a great joke that I've been making for 7, maybe 8 years. Yeah. I'm glad it's finally real. My Twitter lit up when that happened. They went, Tom, you joke! I was like, yeah. The problem is now, it means that that's the end of the joke. Yeah. It's reached its full conclusion. It's out into the world. I have to let it go now.
It's like my YouTube career, the end of the joke. A video package was shared hyping Shinsuke Nakamura's return to Japan to face the Great Muta. Tokyo Sports shared this. Initially, they could not come to terms. I would assume this is the WWE and the Noah, back when Vince was in charge, but they persistently continued negotiations with the new organisation after Chairman and CEO Vince McMahon retired in July. Finally, an agreement was reached on the 26th of this month. This month, and it was truly the fruit of persistence.
One must eat the fruit of persistence.
What is the fruit of persistence? I would argue a tomato.
I will keep asking until somebody tells me. This was definitely this. I'm so happy that this is happening, and I'm not surprised in the slightest that Vince tried his best to kibosh it. Yeah, it's very on brand for Vince to say no.
You can see from both. Well, no, you can't actually. I'm going to stop myself there because as long as you call them independent contractors, Mr. McMahon, and you don't let them allowed to work anywhere else, it's sort of like a bit of a hypocritical move, isn't it? So it is nice to see where can this go. Let's just we're YouTubers talk about wrestling. Yeah. Let's just say that new AEW and WWE are going to put on a pay-per-view next year. Obviously,
it's tempting because obviously we've got Carl Anderson and the New Japan stuff. Obviously, Carl's not doing New Japan, but he's not forfeiting the Never Openweight title as far as this video is concerned. So that might suggest that there's something there. I had a lovely chat with Rich from Voices of Wrestling. And we spoke about what this potentially could be with in terms of New Japan and WWE, getting back to Noah in a second. And like, hypothetically speaking, Suzuki in the Rumble.
Yeah, something like that.
But you could have something. Put Muta in the Rumble.
Yeah.
Put Muta in the Rumble.
And especially Triple H, being Triple H, you would assume that Triple H is more open to these things because he is he was back then like a proper fan of the business. And all that sort of stuff,
that's
so
it.
Getting these people in for a one-shot thing, I assume is something he wants to tick off the bucket list star. As he would say.
He would say that. I think genuinely there's a strong possibility that in 2023 we could see WWE kicking open that forbidden door
Yeah.
a little bit more.
I'm all for it. Come on.
All for
What's
it.
good
as
for
well.
the goose is good for the gander.
Nice. And it's on that gander that we say there's more wrestling news throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Stay safe. And love you. Bye.
Kevin Owens was pegged